Sydney is undergoing an extraordinary transformation at the moment. It's going to look a very different city by about 2020 than people will have seen, say, a decade before.
We've got a growing and vibrant economy. We have about 4.5 million residents, and that's growing rapidly. And we've got lots of demands placed on our transport system as a consequence.
Well, Sydney has had a reputation over a long period of time of often doing really well on world surveys. So we'll come in the top few cities on many criteria, including livability. And yet we don't rate well when it comes to transport. We've realised that we need to change that. We can't afford to have congested roads. And that's been one of our failures in the past. If you wanted to go across town, you'd basically use a private car. And we think the future will be about a greater integration with public transport.
Mobility in the region is key, and there's a big demand on public transport because we're geographically spread out. With the introduction of Opal, we've introduced one smart card which provides for a uniform ticketing experience across all modes of transport.
So the movement of people has become far more efficient.
Before Opal, each different mode had its own ticketing system. We found customers who had to carry a number of different cards. There were a number of different fare systems, and it was all very confusing and inconvenient.
Fortunately, we've had a bit of a checkered history here in Sydney, where there was an attempt to get a project up and running by about the middle of last decade, and that failed. The government went out and redefined what it wanted, went to market again, and the winner of that was Cubic. So anything that really has to do with the scheme, in terms of a smart card which people put money on, and they then spend that money by taking public transport, is managed for us by Cubic. About 39,000 pieces of equipment that are deployed in the network. Cubic manages all that for us.
There are 2 million journeys taken every day on public transport across the Greater Sydney metropolitan area, and at present Opal is used in about 2/3 of those instances.
The system is very customer friendly. Between ourselves and Cubic, we've implemented it with very, very little fuss.
They're involved not only in the delivery of the technology solution, but actually delivering service to our customers each day.
The companies we prefer to work with are ones we can establish a working relationship with. So it's much less transactional and much more relational. And I think in Cubic, that's the sort of company we've landed with.
We know the city of the future will have many more interconnections. They'll have those points where you'll break a journey from a train to a bus or a ferry to a bus. And now Opal's going to make that so much easier. And so for young people who wouldn't do it any other way, this is just sort of a sense that we've caught up with the times.
We're seeing an enormous appetite with our customers for the use of digital technology, and it just makes plain sense and eases the effort that customers have to take if they can find both information and meet the ticketing needs using the mobile phone.
I'd say at the moment it's probably the best implementation of this particular style of technology that I'm aware of in the world.
But at the end of the day, it's easy to use when we say Sydney, and that is that it is a great place to visit, to work, and to live.